The following story I am going to be reading to you does not belong to me. It belongs to a Tumblr creator called TicciMask. It is a TicciMask ass blog, which I have done 2 episodes of for this blog, and they wrote a very cute little TicciMask Christmas story, so I'm going to be reading it. And of course, I will leave a link to the original post in the description of this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. It's strange to think that a house full of killers still celebrate the holidays, and yet here we are. Everyone in the house is getting ready for Christmas. Normally, Slender would discourage such activities, but as years went by, he cared less and less. Like Slender, Tim isn't really fond of the holidays, but everyone else is so into it that he felt left out by not joining in. Hell, even Jeff looks much happier around these times. In the end, our masked man chose to help the others. It seemed as if everyone already has things handled except for a young proxy. Toby was in charge of buying the presents. Tim questioned why he needed help with something so easy. Are you sure you need my help for that?
Not really, but the company would be nice.
Really? My company would be nice? Last time I checked, I'm never nice to you. Why don't you ask Jeff or Clockwork?
Well, they're both pretty busy, and you're not. Also, you don't really want to be seen as useless, do you?
A bit of anger rose in Tim's chest, but in the end, he went with Toby anyway. After all, it seemed like the kid really wanted to hang out with him. Again, it's odd, considering they never get along. Well, recently things have been getting better after Toby saved Tim from a bullet from that one mission. Still, he doesn't exactly plan on enjoying the fact that he's going shopping with Toby, of all people. The trip to the mall was as interesting as you might think. It started off fine and dandy until they ran out of money. So, Toby got the bright idea to simply stealing the rest. This led to them running away from security. Fortunately, they made it back safe and sound. Well, Toby did get scolded from Tim, but they had a good laugh in the end. Strange, Tim actually enjoyed himself. Even with the mall security chasing after them, he was given a rush of adrenaline. It just felt good. That felt more like an adventure than some sort of trip. When the two calmed down, they walked back and wrapped the presents. Days went by, and soon enough it was Christmas. The members threw a small party to celebrate. Everyone was gathered in the living room as Jane handed out snacks that she made. Even Sally joined in to celebrate. She doesn't really live in the house. She just pops in and out from time to time. But of course, she's going to be there to celebrate Christmas. The room felt as if it brightened up in color. Toby was chatting with Jeff and Clockwork, but it seemed as if he wasn't really paying attention to the conversation. He was looking around the room like he was looking for someone. And in this case, he was. Toby wondered why Tim wasn't down here. He eventually excused himself. Well, he actually just straight up walked away, leaving his 2 friends confused. The young proxy searched downstairs before going up to the 2nd floor. He walked over to Tim's room and knocked. He opened the door only to be surprised that Toby was there. What are you doing here?
Why aren't you at the party?
I got work to do.
What? Tim, come on, it's Christmas. You should take a break.
Well, there's also the fact that I hate Christmas, so I'm just going to spend it here.
Seriously?
Yep, now leave. He was about to close the door only when Toby stopped it with his foot.
Tim, why are you always like this? You're always shut in your room working.
Maybe it's because I like being in my room working?
No, you don't.
Well, shit, you're right. I hate being with other people, too. I'll take work over a dumb party. Once again, he's going to shut the door, only to have Toby barge in. Toby, leave.
Not unless you come down with me.
I'm not going to the party no matter how much you tell me to.
I just want you to have fun for once. You're always so boring.
I am not boring.
Then come downstairs and prove it.
No. This time, Tim tried to shove Toby out of his room, but the kid wouldn't budge. This made Tim grow even more frustrated than ever. Toby kept complaining and trying to convince the others to just join him. Tim eventually stopped and yelled, "Why do you care so much if I'm there or not?" This managed to quiet Toby down. To be honest, he didn't really know why he wants Tim there. He just does. It's like he's a magnet. As much as he tries, he can't help but be attracted to him. They stood in awkward silence. Tim broke it. Look, I just don't celebrate Christmas, I don't like parties, and I sure as hell hate socializing. All of that seems like a good enough reason to stay in my room. He tried one last time to gently push Toby out and close the door. This time, Toby complied and walked out of the room. With a heavy sigh, Toby walked downstairs to the party. Strangely, the room didn't look as bright as it did before. Tim went back to his bed and lied down. He looked up at the ceiling. He could hear music from downstairs. It does sound like they're having fun. He thought about what Toby said. He does cope himself in his room a lot. That and seeing Toby look sad only made him feel a bit upset. Maybe he can go down for a bit. It really shouldn't be so bad. It's not like the parties he threw at the hospital where all they did was shitty decorations and didn't even get any presents. After a bit of convincing, Tim finally decided to go down for a little. If it'll make Toby happy, then suffering through the party should be worth it. He'll spend his time with Brian, who is the only person he is comfortable with. When Tim walked down, he couldn't notice Toby looking a little bummed out. He walked behind him and gave him a tap on the shoulder. "All right, I'm here. Are you happy now?" A bright smile grew on Toby, and Tim couldn't help but smile back. The room grew bright once again. This doesn't seem so bad, though, right? "I'm only here because you're an annoying asshole, and I knew you would still try to pester me until I came down here." Tim knew that Toby wasn't going to come back, but he wasn't going to admit that he simply hated seeing Toby upset. Seeing the kid's bright smile simply proved that it was worth coming down here. They spent the night chatting away. Hours passed and presents were being handed out. Toby pulled Tim aside so that they could be alone. Toby handed the other a small box.
I got you something. I managed to buy it before you came shopping with me.
"You bought it?"
Alright, fine. I stole it. But you should be happy I went through all the trouble to get it to you.
Tim chuckled and opened the little box. Inside was a camera. A good one, too. It's not exactly the one he wanted, but it was still a high-quality camera. Toby must have really gone through a lot to sneak this out of the store. "How did you know I wanted this?"
Well, I couldn't help but notice that you have a lot of pictures on your wall. Not to mention, I'm the one who broke your camera.
"Wait, what?"
Nope, nothing. I got you a camera, and that's the only important part.
Tim rolled his eyes. He couldn't be mad. He did get him a new camera after all. Now I feel like a dick for not getting you anything.
You're right, you are a dick. But at least I like you enough to get you something. I mean, a small gift wouldn't hurt. You could take one of Ben's games and...
Before Toby could finish, Tim gave Toby a big hug. He was so overwhelmed with happiness that he didn't really think before acting. Toby was frozen for a bit before he snapped back to reality and hugged back. A small blush rose and smiled.
Well, I guess a hug is good enough,
he said quietly. When the two eventually let go, they continued to talk for the rest of the party. A warm, fuzzy feeling in Toby's chest never left since then.